It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies. We are once again at the Calgary International Film Festival 2021. We're going to run down a whole lot of movies. I'm here with the usual suspects. We got Jim to my right.
Hey.
Got Murray to my left.
Yo.
With that all said, I'm Bryce.
Yeah, that's true, you are.
Is that who you are?
It's a thing. Apparently.
It's early. It's Sunday morning. And let's rage on.
Okie doke.
Yeah, you can tell that we're all super prepared for this. It's been a very, 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 very long week of seeing films, which is...
It's good.
It's been a really, really, really good festival. And I'm super pumped about this. I wish we could do this every day of the week, but I don't think we'd be able to last, because watching this many movies can actually be very tiresome if you're just like grinding it out.
It's exhausting. Especially for those of you that are working as well while you're doing it.
Yes, like we have been, right, Mur? Mur can barely keep his cute little eyeballs open. It's kind of cute. So, I guess thanks everyone for supporting us and listening to us. We had the great pleasure this week of interviewing Rob Jabaz from The Sadness, which was near the beginning of the festival. So Rob, big shout out to you. Thanks for spending some time with us. Thanks to all the people at ciffcalgary.ca for allowing us to be part of the festival again this year. And we got so much content for you today. So just be prepared to take some notes. These films are not out yet, except for a couple. Hey, Mur,
Titan came out.
Yeah, Titan is out.
Titan, whatever.
If you're in Calgary, where we are broadcasting from, I believe you can see it at Eau Claire. So go check that out. That's been one of our top picks. And then on our episode this Wednesday, we're going to just break down what our top 5 are. So Be ready for that. But let's get to the juice. So I think we just did one shorts package. Did you do a shorts package by yourself, Bryce?
Not that I recall.
Did you, Mur? Did you do any other shorts?
No.
So we're just going to jam through this real quick. The shorts package was called Rainbow Country, and it was an animated one. So I kept all the notes on it, so I'm just going to blast through these because I don't know if Bryce will remember all his reviews.
Probably won't even remember.
Yeah. Okay, so The Fire Next Time. We both gave it a meh. It was a racial charge was ignited in this film. Our Bed is Green. We both thought that was meh. Chromo Somo X. Again, we both thought it was meh. It was a claymation sexism. Step Into the River was a double mondo. And my note on here was Jizz Babies.
Oh, yeah, that was mondo.
It had Jizz Babies, which is always good. Homebird, which was Big City Farm Girl, and it was a double meh. Boobs. I know Bryce knows what he rated this.
It was mondo.
It was mondo, not only for the name, but also because of the short. It was amazing. Bad Seeds. Bryce gave that one a mondo, and I gave it a meh. Aunt Binding Disillusion. It's like in another language. I think in English it's disillusion, and it must have been a German with Aunt Binding, maybe. It was both. 2 mondos. Head with Bum is my comments on that.
Head with Bum. How could that not be mondo?
I know, right? It was. This was the only one that neither one of us liked that much, which was Blush.
Yeah.
Computer Planet film, and it was a double rage because it was too much CGI or animated. What's it called? Computer generated computer stuff.
Yeah, computer animation.
Angry Dogs, which was incredibly funny.
Yeah.
It was 2 mondos. And Easter Eggs, just like you'd expect, it's meh. With a name like Easter Eggs. All right. I know Mur saw this. I think Bryce saw this. The movie.
I did, yeah.
Well, Mur, why don't you tell us what you thought of it?
Oh, Okay, then.
I know you're a pretty big 80s fan.
Well, as people may not know about me, I am half Norwegian, so I gravitate towards things Scandinavian, and I'm also a huge fan of the band, although I didn't know a lot of their music. Yeah, I loved it. It was awesome. It gave you kind of in-depth, and despite what most radio stations and people think, they're not a one-hit wonder. Yes, it's the one song that everyone knows, but they've been together since the early 80s.
That doesn't mean you're not a one-hit wonder.
And they've produced actually quite a lot of hits, just nothing as big as their first one.
Well, actually, the other side of that is
what is a hit then?
Well, okay, so in North America, they were not a hit, but internationally, they're still been huge.
I was aware of Hunting High and Low, the album. And that was it. I did not even realize they released anything else.
Well, they had two big hits. I don't know if it was the same album. Obviously, Take On Me and Sun Always Shines on TV, which was also top 40 hit.
Didn't remember it until they played it again, and I was like, oh yeah, I kind of remember that.
They also contributed the song to a Bond movie.
You make it to number 37. That doesn't make it a hit.
It means, well, how many million did they sell?
Oh, I don't know.
It was a lot.
Yeah. So did Chumbawamba.
Yeah, but
no, their albums continue to sell.
Continued albums.
Yeah, they continue
one
to sell.
Song.
They just were not huge in North America.
Exactly.
That doesn't make them a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't. One-hit wonder means you make one song and the whole world knows you only for that.
That song.
In Europe, in Asia,
Anyways,
I'm sorry.
It doesn't matter.
You're not.
I don't know why we're having this conversation. The movie was meh.
And for Murray, it was?
Of course it was a Mondo.
Okay, good. Well, let me tell you a little bit what I thought about this thing.
Oh, God, this is going to be long if we're going to go on for 10 minutes every time.
Yeah, actually, we're going to talk about this for an hour now, just because Bryce is making a bitchiness of himself.
Let's just get on with it. It was a music doc that was just okay, that was 2 hours long, and it didn't need to be. Let's just move on.
It was 2 hours.
Let's move on, unlike the movie, which just never moved on.
It was a meh for me, too. I really love Aha. Like, I am a huge fan of Aha. I've followed their career from day one. I was expecting this to have a little bit more insight into them. That's why I didn't love it as much. Unfortunately, I love the band Aha, but this movie was only a meh for me.
Cool.
Mothering Sunday. Did anybody else see this one, Murray?
I went to see it, and unfortunately, it had like a 3-day window, and I missed it. So.
Well.
Was it worth it? It's a period piece, is it not?
Yeah,
Your favorite.
Yes, it was a period piece. So the first comment I have is Snore, a period piece that is also a love story. Nothing about this spoke to me. I am 20 minutes in, and I'm balancing the idea of sleeping instead of watching this film. As the Brits would say, this was not my cup of tea.
All right, so I am definitely going to check it out.
Yeah, you will love it. It was a rage for me.
If it was a musical, it would have been a trifecta for
you. A period piece musical love story. Yeah. Dare me to see something? Find that, and it's a go.
All right.
The Boathouse. You just saw The Boathouse, didn't you?
I did see it, yeah.
All right, what'd you think?
Yeah. I don't know. It just didn't really go anywhere for me. I didn't really like the leading actress very much.
Okay. Keep talking. Let's hear it.
That was it. It was so long ago, I forget.
No need.
Was it a rage?
No, it wasn't a rage. I just didn't really like it that much.
That would make it a meh.
All right. Well, island cottage full of crazy with a dash of suspense.
Did you not see The Boathouse?
Yeah, I did. That's why I'm telling you about it.
Oh, that's why. I thought that the next movie was called Island Cottage.
No. It's not. It's still The Boathouse.
Oh, we're still talking about The Boathouse?
Yes, because I have an opinion. Everything isn't about just your opinion, father.
I didn't see it, so why are we even talking about it?
Exactly. Well, because me and Murray did.
If Bryce didn't see it,
then it doesn't exist. If Bryce didn't see the movie, it doesn't exist.
All right, get on with it.
Okay, so an island cottage full of crazy with a dash of suspense and serial killing at the helm of this boat had some good tension building and some interesting twists, but it was a little bit too predictable. I enjoyed the acting and story, but there seemed to be a little too much crazy all in one household, including a budding serial killer for a son that no one seemed to care much about.
Yeah, he was a dickhead.
Yeah, it was kind of like he like it's just like they would touch on certain things, but then never expand on the idea.
Well, he killed her rabbit.
Yeah, and a bunch of other stuff.
And a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, it was a meh. Double meh.
All
All right, official competition.
Ooh.
Murr, did you get to see this one?
No, I did not.
All right. Well, Bryce has been itching to talk, so why don't you say something about official competition?
I liked it.
Keep going. I'm listening.
I thought Antonio Banderas was terrific.
Yes, he was.
Antonio Banderas.
Yes.
Penelope Cruz was also terrific.
She was more than terrific, and she had big hair.
She had really big hair. I liked it a lot. It was funny.
Right. Okay,
It was Mondo.
So, okay, this film is witty in such an overtly subtle way. The humor constantly slaps you in the face, pitting these seasoned veteran actors of Spanish film together in a competition of acting. You say, what? Their characters so overtly defined and quirky, but still constantly making fun of themselves. I laughed through this entire film. It was every single moment in it was so well written and so intimately digging at one another. It was really like two brothers that were competing for the best girl. It was so good. It was a Mondo for me too.
I think I summed it up better.
Yeah, no.
I liked it.
I liked it.
That was very
A
well
lot.
put.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So you liked it a lot. It was a Mondo,
You're
right?
such a
Is that
word-
what?
You're such a
Yeah.
wordsmith.
It was super good.
We're
liked
going
it.
from one Mondo to another Mondo
Are we?
in Luzu.
Luzu.
Did you want to talk about Luzu?
I don't even remember it. What was
Luzu is the Malton word for boat.
Oh, that was excellent.
Yes. So a malted drama full of dread and hardship for a fisherman and his young family.
That's what happens when you watch 50 movies a week.
Super hot fisherman, I might add.
Whatever. He was just a guy.
It's like doll's eyes. You look into his eyes and it was just like, man, I want to melt into that molten sea of his eyes. So gorgeous. They're having financial problems.
Movie was gorgeous.
And they're having money problems, and the whole time I'm going like, why doesn't he just become an underwear model? He's freaking gorgeous. This film is a great journey of one man from a fisherman with integrity to someone willing to do whatever it takes to support his family, and tells a story of both joy and sadness. This Maltese fishing story about a boat caught my heart in its net. A Mondo-sized net, I might add.
It was a Mondo. The lead actor was very good. I don't know that he was as dreamy as G-Man's making him
He's
out to be.
gorgeous. Ladies and gentlemen, please go check out him. He's gorgeous.
But yeah, no, it's a story where you see this guy and you just see how he starts going down this slippery slope, and it's like, what is he gonna do next? It's like he starts out just all of a sudden breaking the rules a little bit, and it's like where is this gonna end?
Yeah, and
But,
it kind of didn't end. Like, we don't know where it's going to end.
Yeah.
The funniest thing I thought about it, to your point about his integrity changing, was near the very first scene. He's kind of talking about the fact that he can't do that because he doesn't want to go work for these giant fishing organizations that destroy the bottom of the seabed. And you think to yourself, wow, this guy's got a lot of integrity. Thank God he's a fisherman, doing things ethical.
And then, a guy's got to eat, I guess.
Yeah, guys,
That's what
got
it
to
comes
feed his
down
baby
to.
formula, I guess.
The formula, that was like a big thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, he kept coming back. And he eventually bought some, but it wasn't good enough for
he bought the cheap stuff. You can't buy the cheap stuff.
Can't buy the cheap stuff. Especially if your mother-in-law's a total bitch.
Yeah, she was terrible.
She's an awful person.
Did not like her.
No.
But the movie was Mondo.
It was super Mondo.
All right.
Dear future children. Yeah, I can tell you don't remember this either.
I remember
This
it.
doc
There's a lot
made
going
me
on.
super mad at all the situations that are happening in Chile, Hong Kong,
Yes.
and Uganda. And I'm sure that was what their intent was to make us angry.
True.
I liked hearing the stories and it frustrates me that evil that prevails in these societies. The doc overall, though, I found it had way too much content and was a little unfocused. So for that reason, because of the level of unfocus, it's a meh. I couldn't figure out what story they were trying to tell. Like, I think ultimately they were trying to tell that protesters are good, big government is bad, because each one of the situations in each one of those countries were different reasons.
Yeah, they're totally different. And, you know, like, yeah, I agree that this should have been 3 documentaries, basically. There's enough content in each of those stories that they could have made a doc about it. Bouncing back and forth the way it didn't work for me. But, you know, at the end of the day, it was meh. But a lot of important stuff in it. I enjoyed a lot of the content. I learned a few things. But at the end of the day, it was just spread too thin.
Well, and I think, you know, South American countries in particular, I think don't get enough attention because Venezuela just eats up so much of everything, right? So, I mean, did you even know that something this bad was happening in Chile right now?
I was aware of the corruption, yes.
Yeah, but were you aware that they were killing their people on the streets?
I was aware of that.
Okay, see, I didn't. At some point I did, but then it was just like, okay, then.
Honestly, there's a lot going on in South America. It's tough to keep up with even keep the track. You know, I sound like an idiot here, but keep track of which countries and what's going on with all of them. But a lot of similar stuff, unfortunately, is going on in a lot of them.
Yeah, well, and that happens even in Africa too, right? Like, even in Africa, it's one of those situations that if your government is having issues, it's going to end up being bad for the people that are living there. So it's worth the content to see it, but I think, I kind of wished it was done a little differently or better, maybe. Fighter.
Ooh, Fighter.
Yeah, like most down on your luck female-led boxer films, it's okay. Not my favorite genre or subgenre, you know, sports movies. But this was Korean and had a lady defecting from North Korea. So it had a few more layers. Plus the actress Sung-mi Lim does a great job of fighting her way through the role, just like the character does in life.
There you go.
But for me, it was a meh.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to it. I was hoping it would be a little better than it was. She was very good. Story was good. It was interesting to see how, you know, that someone that's defecting from North Korea to South Korea, they kind of how they're treated and whatnot. So that, you know, it was actually a little bit of a learning experience. I learned a little. I was, you know, entertained, but it wasn't fantastic. It was meh.
Yeah.
But it was worth checking out.
Okay, I thought you were I was surprised. I thought you were madly in love with this boxer film.
No, I'm looking at my notes here and my whole review. Let's see. Fighter, meh.
Okay. He's full of his wordsmith-isms today. I love it.
He comes prepared.
Yeah. Well, I guess he watches so many, he has no time for breaks between each one.
That's what happens when you watch 50 movies a week.
Yeah, it's true. It's his brain is now mush, people. Stanleyville.
Yeah.
Canadian one that was not. I don't know. It was filmed in Britain and in Canada and Germany.
I think it was Germany and Canada. No, not Britain.
But all the actors, some of the actors were British, so I don't know how that worked out. So first off, Julian Richings as Humunculus.
It was like Hamilton, right? Hamilton and
yes, of all places, Hamilton, Ontario.
Yeah, and
that's where I think of when I think of film in Canada.
Anyways, go on. Yes, it's the film making hub of Canada.
Oh, Canada, the steelworker town. Yep. Julian Richings as Humunculus is brilliant in this film, as always. This film was fun and funny. Game of death with wacky characters and crazy nonsensical contests where sometimes you just have to say you won and then you get to win, which made it actually kind of funnier. I won. I had 5. I believe you. You win. And had a great ending and beginning. The acting was all very good, but the production values were a bit weak. I enjoyed this quite a lot, but just not not enough to get it to Mondo. It was a high meh for me. It was quirky and wacky, and I love competition type movies where they come up with some really weird competitions, like make a communication device from nothing, and the person won
what?
because they actually stole somebody else's cell phone and kept
Wrapped it in tinfoil.
Wrapped it in tinfoil. Like, there was a lot of good. This was a high mat for me because I was really enjoying it.
There was a lot of good here.
Yeah.
Yeah, ditto. Meh.
I think it's definitely worth people to check out. I think, Murray, I think you would have really liked this one.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, but it didn't feel Canadian at all. No? Probably because of all the British and all the, because there was a Swedish person to it. There was it had the Canadian sense of humor. I think maybe that's what it is. We do have a bit of a twisted sense of humor, right?
Yeah.
No, maybe.
Sure. What's next?
Murray's gone. Well, meh. Last film show.
Oh yeah.
Cutest little rascal CLF with the love of film transforms the people around him with his infectious spirit and passion. Great, great, great Indian film showing how 35mm film is maybe the past, but the stories and the people who tell them are the future. My only complaint about this movie, and there's only just one.
Okay.
There wasn't enough Bollywood dancing. No. But otherwise, this was a fantastic Mondo. And who knew you could send a 10-year-old off to school by themselves on a train? I didn't know that was possible, but anything's possible in India, I guess.
Yes. As long as it's not a Bollywood film, I am loving everything from India. Everything I see that's not some stupid musical.
What are you talking about? Fantastic. Bollywood music is fantastic. It's infectious. You can't not get up and dance when Bollywood music is on. My goal in life is to make it to India just so I can see a Bollywood film in theaters and get to dance with everybody in the cinema. I can't wait.
There you go. So the film was kind of heartbreaking at the point where they're taking this beautiful film and turning it into bracelets.
That was well done. They did that actually.
But it was such a good film, start to finish. I absolutely adored this. It was Mondo, and that little kid, he was great, and the projectionist with everybody was so good in it, and
his mom and his dad,
everybody. Was
the character development was so well done.
This was one of the best films of the festival.
Yeah,
it will be. Spoiler alert! It will be in my top 5.
It will also be in my top 5. Well, so now we only have to make our top 4 because everybody knows which one.
I won't do any more spoilers. Well, maybe one.
That was my hint to stop doing spoilers.
Yeah, I might do it anyways. Like I'm going to start listening to you now.
Yeah, whatever.
That ain't happening.
Well, then let's talk about strawberries and strawberry mansions.
Ooh, yeah, Strawberry Mansion. I love that movie.
All right. Do you want me to talk about it first?
Yes.
Okay. It's fun and weird.
It is.
Times afoot in this future comedy sci-fi adventure.
Yes.
In a world similar to, say, something like Big Fish, only on a lower budget and maybe less interesting and predictable. I liked it because it had some awkwardness to it. I kind of tired of it and its whole process at about 4/5 through it.
Ew.
FYI, I looked at my watch twice.
I never looked
and
at my
so
watch.
For that reason alone, it is a meh and not a Mondo.
It's Mondo.
No, it wasn't.
The colors and the quirkiness and the thises and the that's. I liked it a lot.
I liked it a lot too. I just did not love it. I only liked it a lot.
I loved it a lot. It was
now you're changing your story. Because just seconds ago, you liked it a lot.
Sometimes like blossoms into love. It's a natural progression, Jim.
Okay. Well, as long as you stay friends afterwards, that's all that matters.
It is, really. Why wouldn't you?
I was just expecting it to be weirder. Everybody was kind of going on about this is the weird one of the festival, and I'm like, it's not that weird.
I never heard anything about it. I just knew I was going to a movie called Strawberry Mansion. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's called Strawberry Mansion. Murray, did you see this one?
Saw bits and pieces. I was one to put it on the screen.
You were the projectionist?
I was want to put it on the screen.
So did you get the weird vibes from it?
It was way weird.
Really? I thought it was.
Well, I remember one scene they were on like on a pirate ship, and I'm like, why are they on a pirate ship? And
Why not?
Then there was like people with fish heads, and it was good.
It was okay.
I really liked it.
I don't think I would have enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's not your kind of movie, I don't think.
I thought it was Mondo.
I did love Big Fish, but for other reasons.
Yes, of course. His third favorite boyfriend is in it.
Yes, that's true.
You use.
Yeah, okay.
There's a movie that I think Murr, if you saw this, would love it. It's called Drinkwater.
Did you see Drinkwater?
I did see Drinkwater.
I tried to see it, didn't get around to it.
You didn't get to it. Well, let me tell you a little bit about it. This film is a movie.
It is a movie.
It's a movie about a film.
It's
a film about a movie.
He's not lying. It's a movie.
It's a movie that is made for TV. Made for TV.
Huh?
It's a made-for-TV movie made for TV, not for
mean?
the big screen.
Is it?
So
Yeah.
it was probably
you say that?
probably funded by a company with the intention of putting it on TV.
I don't know. It just felt like made for TV.
Did it?
Yeah,
I
it did,
didn't
very
know
much so. It literally. Oh yeah. I mean, the stuff that we get sort of pre-canned to go straight to TV. This is what it felt like to me. It's all also very predictable and contrived. Although Eric McCormick is fun as always. It's a Canadian content movie to the 100% max, which I give it super props for. They didn't try and pretend this was an American film. There was so much Canadian content in it. But it, for the most part, it's an annoying, atypical teenage rom-com coming of age. I know I'm being perhaps generous, but the soundtrack was Canadian Mondo.
It wasn't.
And it had BTO in it. So, I mean, come on. But the kid in this who was playing the lead role was annoyingly stupid and annoying.
I liked him.
No, he was awful. This was a
Daniel
low, meh, almost a rage.
I liked it more than you.
Which is actually surprising, but go on.
For two reasons. Because no matter what the content in it was, I thought that the kid, Daniel Doheny, who played Mike Drinkwater in it, was very good. I actually found him kind of amusing.
No.
And Eric McCormick was, as Hank, was spectacular.
Yeah, he was.
So-
I said that.
Those two characters, even though some of the stuff around it was just sort of a paint by numbers teen romp, really.
Yeah.
But those two characters made this worth watching.
That's why it was a meh.
It was a meh, but it wasn't a low, or whatever you.
It was because they actually
it was meh.
He alone, Eric McCormick.
I quite enjoyed a lot of it.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you did. But
I thought the kid
But
was
this
good.
again
I can't believe you didn't
speaks
like
to the 13-year-old girl inside you, which
this wasn't a.
it was pretty much bang on.
I know not of what you speak. At
course
any
you
rate,
do.
I liked it. It's worth checking out. It's probably
And-
one of the better Canadian films of the festival, other than
Stanleyville?
Stanleyville.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about a doc now called The Rescue,
The Rescue.
which I think I liked more than you.
I liked it.
When you think suspense in documentary films, you think Jimmy Chin and Elizabeth Chai Vassar-Haley. I don't know if that's the right pronunciation, Elizabeth. I apologize. You know, the directors from Free Solo and Meru. So you can imagine how this was going to be. And sure as hell, I'm like freaking out all the way through this film. It was so stressful. I had to stop watching it probably about 3 or 4 times to control myself because the level of tension in this film was amazing. And if you've seen Free Solo in particular, you'll know what I'm talking about how these filmmakers bring suspense to a film that you already know the ending to, which is still kind of like amazing how they do it. The power of cooperation and collaboration from the world to save these kids was an amazing event, and this film was an amazing mondo.
I liked it.
All right. You liked it enough for
Well, I'm confused because if you see on my notes, I wrote Mondo, and then I crossed it out, and then I put meh. And now I'm thinking about it, and yeah, it was meh. It was good. I liked it a lot.
What movie did you watch? Did you fall asleep in this one too?
No, I was actually wide awake.
This was an amazing film.
It was good. I liked it.
How would you have made this better?
I don't know.
You couldn't have, because it was perfect. It was like perfectly done.
I liked it.
You know, as I'm watching this too,
yeah,
the visions from Dave not coming back was coming back to me.
Oh yeah, well,
right?
You can definitely make the correlation.
Right? I mean, Dave not coming back being an underwater.
But Dave not coming back, I thought was far superior to this.
I don't know.
Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I think it was.
I think maybe that's
Dave
why
not coming back. I loved so much, and now we've got another diving movie.
So 2 diving movies in 1 year, and you're spent.
And I'm comparing the two, and I'm going, well, if this one was Mondo and this one wasn't as good, I guess it's meh.
No, but it was still Mondo.
They're very good.
They're both Mondo.
It is
just so you know.
It's worth watching.
Hands That Bind. Did you get to see this?
No.
Murray, did you get to see Hands That Bind?
I was going to, and then I read the synopsis, and I'm like, nah, I don't think so.
I was going to, and then I had to work.
No. That's like the story of your life.
Okay, did I make the right decision, Jim?
Well,
I read the synopsis, and I was like,
let me tell you about Hands That Bind. Taking place right here in Alberta, I might add. Mm-hmm. Douchebag son of an aging farmer and a hired hand who is destined to take over the farm. That's the synopsis of this film.
I know.
This film shows the
Did they kill somebody?
Maybe. Maybe there's death. Maybe there isn't. I don't want to put a spoiler out. This film shows the tough times found in our glorious province of Alberta during the early 80s. Film is slow and drawn out, focused on relationships. It was a little uneven for my liking. And other than Bruce Dern, the acting was just okay, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's the only reason I was going to watch it. Is because
Bruce Dern he's not in there enough, but that's
what I figured.
His continued attempt to kill himself is actually kind of interesting.
Right.
That's the only thing I'll give you with that. This film is a man. It is. The thing is it's kind of hinted in the story more than a few times about the supernatural happenings. But then it doesn't really ever expand on it. So I think they kind of put too much into this. It was one of those ones that if they just kind of would have told the story of these people living this journey, I think it might have been better. But as far as a farm movie, it's nothing like the one we saw with what's-his-face earlier in the year.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the one with the
what's-his-face? Big
Agra, whatever it's called.
Percy?
Yeah, Percy. This was better. In my opinion, this one was.
I still can't believe they renamed that movie.
Yeah, I know.
They renamed it, and they shot it in the wrong province.
Yeah, there you go, Mur. You tell him.
Percy versus Goliath, they renamed it.
Did they?
Yeah.
It was so bad that the guy died.
Exactly. So this movie was better than Percy. For an Alberta farm film, this was better. But yeah, I think it might be worth checking out. You might actually like it a little bit more than me.
You have to really enjoy farming to probably enjoy it. If you're a city kid, you might not like it as much.
Maybe.
There's only so many scenes with tractors that can really work for you.
I do like tractors. They're kind of fun. I kind of wanted to talk about DugDug, but because so I only saw
Doug, he's awesome.
Doug, yeah. No, I kind of wanted to talk about it, but I only watched the first 10 minutes and the last 20 minutes because I fell asleep in the middle of it.
You missed out.
I know.
DugDug is spectacular.
Yeah.
It starts out and you're like, what is going on? And then you get into it and you are into it. And they are worshiping this motorcycle that's got the spirit of a dude that gets like his head caved in by a truck that runs it over. And
that was cool.
And
because I was part of that.
And then it starts granting wishes. And it's crazy and it's awesome and it needs to be seen by it. And it's got like this musical interlude in the middle that goes on forever and you don't mind because you're just so giddy because it's so awesome.
Could you dance to it? Curious.
And you just sit there in the colors and this movie is just joy. It's pure freaking joy. I love DugDug. DugDug is Mondo.
Uh-oh. You're not giving any spoilers, are you?
No. But it just might end up. No.
And it's got the guy from Cool Runnings.
And it's got the guy from Cool. I have no idea what that means.
Dougie Doug was an actor from Cool
No,
Runnings.
it doesn't have Dougie Doug.
He was the American guy with a really bad Jamaican
Yeah,
accent.
blah, blah, blah,
Dougie
blah,
Doug.
blah. Stop it. There's
I was
no
actually-
correlation.
Dougie Doug.
I was hoping that they might have a scene from the video game DugDrive, but that also wasn't in
See, I
this,
would have
was it?
enjoyed that.
Okay.
There's no Dougie,
No.
and
No
there's no
Dig
Dig.
Stop
It's just
it.
Doug.
Just
Doug.
stop it. Doug is awesome. Go see it and ignore all this other banter that's going around me right now.
Nice. All right. We got to see another Korean film in cinema
Oh, what was that?
called Baby, You Can Drive My Car. Ba, 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 ba,
yeah.
ba.
Drive my
Girl,
car.
you're gonna be a star.
Yeah, it's just drive my car, just in case people want to actually.
Oh,
look it
so no,
up.
there's no baby involved.
No.
Actually, there wasn't.
I'm sure they would say the word at some point.
You can't.
Don't think.
No,
I
the
don't
baby.
think-
They
I don't
didn't say
think-
the
I
word
don't think
baby. They said
baby.
child.
Fair warning, it's a 3-hour movie.
It's
3 hours
3 hours and
of
and
awesomeness.
and you could not cut a single second out of it.
And I was exhausted when I watched this one, but I did not fall asleep.
Yes.
Which goes to tell you how fascinating this was. This is a character development to the max. Like, if you think Japanese dramas are character developed films, you ain't seen nothing yet, baby. This is 3 hours of character development that you cannot hide from. The film of love, loss, and healing is so well done and so well developed. I love the scenery, the quietness of the plot progression, and allowance for healing to take time. Plus the fact that they did a play that was shot in the native language of Japanese, but it also had Korean.
Yep.
It also had sign language. It also had Chinese.
Mandarin, yeah.
It was like not only this amazing character driven film, but it shows what art can be everywhere. It doesn't have to just be in Japan and maybe the Asian cultures, because like we've seen even this last year with Dev Patel in the movie that had all these different cultural references within the film. And this is another good example. In Canada or in the US, you would never see either a play or a movie. You can say movie every now and then where you might see someone speaking another language because that's the reason for the film. But you don't have where it's written for the film as it's in the language of Canada. But, you know, they didn't find a Canadian actor who was good an actor, so they put in someone who speaks Chinese. And then they just put subtitles whenever they spoke. It was amazing.
It really was. It's like, what? I'm like, this is really cool. But yeah, that was just this sort of the sidebar of the film. The meat of the matter is the relationships within. It was just an outstanding film. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if you've said the words yet, but I'm pretty sure you thought it was Mondo.
Oh yeah, it was beyond Mondo.
And yeah, I honestly 3-hour movie. I thought, oh, they did it to me again, because there's been a few that I've gone to where I expected it to be let out like I think Mass was supposed to be like over 2 hours, and it ended up being nowhere near that. I don't think it was anywhere near that.
It felt like it was 10 days.
Whatever, it was good. But this one, 3 hours, I'm like, I can't believe it. I thought that maybe like when
It felt like 2.
I sat and kind of looked at your cell phone to see what the clock said, and it actually said like after 8 o'clock. I was like, well, how was that 3 hours? That went by like
It did.
in an instant, and
Yeah.
it was so good.
It didn't feel that way.
Believe me, it was 3 hours. I was sitting in the booth
so good.
waiting for it to be over.
Oh no.
Yeah,
No.
But you know, it was so, everything was so quietly done, and it just allowed you, like the pacing was so perfect because it allowed you to absorb every
Oh yeah, you
scene.
could just sit there and take a breath, and you could totally absorb everything that was being said, and it was all very natural. And I was kind of making the comment, there was probably about 4 or 5 times in this movie where they could have ended it, and I would have been completely satisfied. And then sometimes, like for a split second, they would come, all of a sudden it would kind of fade to black, and then it would keep on going, and I'd be going, oh no, they're gonna
ruin this perfect ending.
And then it just kept on
Get
getting
another
better.
perfect ending.
It's like, okay, then that's the end, right? No, that's not the end. And at some point you're like, okay, at some point this got to stop because they're gonna wreck it. But every time it kept on going, it was so good, and I'm so glad they didn't end it when I thought they should have. And how many times have I said, they needed to end it here, and then it was just crap after that. Like, they could have just chopped that last few minutes. It didn't need to be. No. Every time I thought they should have ended, I was wrong because it just kept on getting better. And it was so good and so well made, and I cared about everybody in this. I loved Drive My Car. It was Mondo.
Yeah, baby, you can drive my car. That we saw, all of us. We closed the cap on this bottle with the film Knockin'.
Oh, yeah, Knockin'.
Oh, yeah, Knockin'.
I remember Knockin'.
Do you remember Knockin'? It was only yesterday.
I only remember it because it was like literally the last thing I saw before I went to bed. So. If I saw it earlier in the week, I probably would have been going, what?
What's
Did we see that? Are you sure?
It's Swedish. So let's talk. Let's have our local Scandinavian heritage boy talk about Sweden.
Scandinavian heritage boy. I was waiting for more, waiting for stuff to happen, and it doesn't seem to. Right near the end, she moves into a place and she hears weird knocking sounds, but nobody else seems to hear it. And as the movie goes on, you think it's in her head. You think she's going crazy.
She was going crazy.
And at the end they wrapped it up. But it's like, even though it was a short movie, I think it was too long. It didn't really go anywhere.
What a contrast! It's true you say that, Mur. Like that movie was less than, I think it was just 70. It wasn't even 90
minutes. It was like an hour.
And it felt longer, and yet we saw a 3-hour movie and it felt shorter.
There was a lot of sitting around and a lot of talking, and it was a late shift movie, which we've come to expect late shift movies to either be violent or gory or scary,
more
or even like funny. Yeah, but this was kind of none of it. It was just a blah.
Yeah,
it's too bad because I was looking forward to it.
Right, because the Swedes do good stuff. I didn't really hate it. It was just I'm along the same path as you. I think it needed something more to.
I was also at the end of a 12-hour day too, so.
Yeah, but I don't know if that would have made a difference.
Maybe I just wasn't in the mood for it.
Yeah. So was that a meh for you?
Yeah.
All right. I think I speak for everybody. That was a trifecta of meh.
Yeah, it was just meh. We don't need to really talk about it much.
All right. So we've got a few films that I'm not sure if everybody else saw. You just gotta have to blast through these. One of them was Motherly.
Yeah, I didn't get to see Motherly yet.
Mur, did you get to see Motherly?
I had to work.
The music for me was very unique and very well done. The suspense comes quickly and constant.
Oh, sorry, I saw Motherly.
Yeah, I think you did.
Never
what
mind.
Are you talking about?
I saw Motherly. It was
right.
Yeah, go ahead.
The suspense comes quickly and constantly at the beginning, and although a typical feel to the story, they built the suspense very naturally. The CLF was fairly annoying, but well acted as annoying, which I'm sure was intentional. Then more surprises. Then comes the torture porn, barn style. Was pretty good cat and mouse. Some good suspense, but ultimately Motherly was matherly.
Matherly. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
That's clever. This movie tried really hard, and it didn't quite make it. You could see that they were trying
so hard.
They were trying to make a really, really good movie, but it was
meh.
I'll be generous and give it a meh.
Not a boy. You're so sweet. You're never normal. That's usually things don't come out of my mouth about you, but you were very sweet today.
Yeah.
All right, so you got a blast of a few because you saw like 20 more than Murray and I. Actually, Murray, was there any that you saw that we didn't see? You saw Ninja Baby.
Oh yeah, Ninja Baby. Wow,
yeah,
Ninja Baby.
Because that was like one of your favorites.
That was my favorite of the festival, though.
Wow.
To date, I have currently seen 9.
Oh,
I've also
seen 9.
My lowest
total ever.
It is pretty low for you.
It's very low.
I think I think last time you had, I think 17 was your lowest before this.
I really like that song.
Yeah, even when I was a
Low,
volunteer, I averaged
like
I averaged between 20 and 25. But yeah, just the way my schedule was, I wasn't able to go to anything.
So tell us about Ninja Baby.
Ninja Baby, again, a Norwegian film. I liken it to Norwegian Juno. Although instead of the main character being a teenager, she's just an irresponsible adult. Like, she parties and drinks too much and doesn't even know she's pregnant because she's the ditz.
Oh, jeez.
She doesn't know who the father is. She thinks it is one guy, but then it's another one. And he's like a total, he's just a doofus. Lives with his grandmother, I think. He's a loser. And he's trying to figure out what to do with it. And in the midst of her being pregnant, she starts imagining the baby talking to her through this animated, baby that she sees on the wall and everywhere.
Nice.
And he's a little like Stewie because he's very acidic,
sassy,
and very sassy. Yeah,
sassy.
And yeah, she has to figure out what to do about this because sometimes she figured out she's pregnant. She's like way too far gone to have an abortion, so she actually has to have it. It was really weird and funny, and yeah, it was Norwegian.
And it was Mondo,
It was very funny. It was very Mondo for me.
All right. Okay. Was there anything else that you saw that we didn't? That you can think of off the top of your head?
Yeah, I saw because you guys went to see, I think it was Beta Test, which I'd seen already.
Yep.
I went to that bad luck banging Loony porn thing.
Okay.
It was just bad. I thought it would be like, what was that Woody Allen movie where he talks about sex all the time?
That's every
That
movie.
would be all of them, yeah.
No, I mean, the one actually was the name of the sex in the title, I think. But
Sex Lies. No, that's a different one. Sex
Anyway,
Lies in Videotape.
I thought it would be like satire or comedy or something,
Yeah.
but it really wasn't.
From which one? Bad Luck?
Yeah, I mean, it starts off with a 4-minute actual sex tape. Like, they didn't pull any punches. It was like full everything. Like, you saw everything.
Penetration is what you're saying. So there was a little bit of porn in the name that was titled porn.
That was pretty much a highlight of the whole movie because then it went to this teacher who basically her boyfriend uploaded this video of them to the most popular porn site on there, which people know.
Pornhub?
Yes.
All right.
And
maybe they should sponsor us.
This was actually a Romanian movie, so it takes place in Romania. And the first third of the movie was her trying to deal with it, and she's about to go before the board to explain her actions and avoid getting fired. And then the middle part was it was like the history of Romania. Like, it was divided into 3 parts. The middle part was actually like the actual history of Romania, breaking away from Russia or whatever. And it's like, old video footage of Nazis, and you had like, pictures, and it's like, what is this? And they had like an A to Z of definitions. They just, like, A would be this word. Then they would describe what it was. Then once in a while, you'd have like some nude scene just out of nowhere.
Randomly put in there.
Randomly put in.
To live up to the porn.
And then the last third, which went on way too long, was just her explaining her actions and basically trying to save her job in front of this, the parent-teacher board or whatever.
Yeah.
And just, they went on and on and on about, is it porn? Isn't it porn? It's my private life, blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's affecting our kids, but like, you have 10-year-olds. Like, if your 10-year-old is watching porn on his phone, that's your fault. That's not the teacher's
Exactly.
fault.
I'm with you.
It just, I don't know. It was almost a rage, but
it was a man.
Yeah, I thought I'd enjoy it more.
Sounds like I might need to see this movie though, with all the
it was Romania.
history of Romania. I'm kind of interested now. All right. Was there any other ones?
Oh, by the way, that also won the big prize at Cannes this year too.
Oh.
And the guy was like so flippant about it. He basically went and insulted everybody after he won the award. I'm like,
good for him.
Anyway,
awards are for losers. But I know that's kind of counterintuitive, but
no, everything else I've seen, I think you guys.
We already talked. Yeah. All right. Well, Bryce has a list of what, 20?
Oh, I don't even remember. Did anybody else see Buck Alamo?
No.
Oh, Buck Alamo.
Is that the musical one?
Yeah, it's about
yes, I previewed it.
Did you? And what did you think of it?
It was okay. It wasn't crazy about the music. I actually like musicals, but it was okay. The cowboy western musical.
I already hate it.
You don't.
And there was a really old guy in it who I'm trying to remember who.
Yeah, he's a musical outlaw.
Yeah, somebody, is it Is Bruce Dern in that one too?
Bruce Dern voices death in it.
Okay,
which
right.
is
Nice.
which is fantastic.
I remember that now.
This movie is all Sonny Carl Davis, who kind of is the musical outlaw in it. Buck Alamo.
Nice.
It's fantastic.
That's actually the title, Buck Alamo?
Buck
Yeah.
Alamo is the name of the movie.
Oh no, it's more than that.
Okay.
And it's really good. Buck
Buck Alamo and his friends collection.
Buck Alamo, based on the performance of the lead actor, made it Mondo for me.
Okay, nice.
He was so very, very good.
All right.
What else we got? Don't Say Its Name. Did anybody see that?
No,
I didn't like it. I'm just gonna. Don't Say Its Name was not very good.
you should not say this name, but it was a meh.
It was meh.
All right.
Everything in the End.
That sounds like a great
I'm
movie.
surprised that Murray didn't watch this one.
Which one?
Everything in the End.
No.
Because it's about a guy that's in Iceland.
What?
And it's the end of the world.
Oh, that's one that I think you wanted to see, didn't you?
Maybe.
Because it was Icelandic.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was Mondo. It
Nice.
was spectacular. It doesn't over-explain anything. It's just about it's got kind of a convenient ending, but I forgave it because it was so spectacular to watch. And just a beautiful, like if you want to take a trip to Iceland, but you don't have any money,
Take this.
rent this.
Everything in the
Everything in
End.
the End. Go watch it.
I
'cause
love
it's
Icelandic
just-
movies.
It's just beautifully done. It's actually about a Spaniard that's actually stranded. Well, not stranded so much as he's chosen to be there because he's trying to find.
Because who doesn't want to be in Iceland?
Doesn't even realize that he finds it. But at any rate, I don't want to spoil anything. Everything in the End was Mondo. Loved it.
The end and beginning and middle of Everything in the End was Mondo.
The Gig is Up. Anybody see that?
Nope.
The Gig is Up. It's just a documentary about like all these online things that you can get these jobs where you make like 10 cents a transaction. And
Oh, yeah. Microdosing.
Yeah, it was.
It was meh?
It was meh.
All right.
I was hoping that I was gonna learn a little more.
Yeah, because we could use microdosing. We'd like to make 10 cents on every transaction.
By the way,
of our podcast.
did we not talk about the cryptocurrency thing? I don't think we talked about it.
The cryptocurrency one. What was that? Yeah, we did.
No, we didn't.
No,
Yeah,
we
that
didn't.
was a documentary about the guy with the.
Which I'm sure you saw.
Cryptocurrency.
Yeah, the crypto mystery. What was it called? Dead Man Switch, a crypto.
Nope, I did not
Dead
see
Man's
that one.
Mystery.
Yeah, that was the.
I thought
the
for
bit-
sure you saw that.
Wasn't that that was the Bitcoin guy, wasn't it?
That was the Bitcoin.
What
guy.
was it called, sorry?
Dead Man Switch, a
Yeah,
crypto
documentary.
mystery. It's a documentary.
Nope.
So it is like every cryptocurrency documentary that I've ever seen, in which it tries to explain to me cryptocurrency
And how valuable it is in
and
society.
I have no idea. I still have no frickin' idea of what it is,
Yeah, I don't
why
either.
people buy it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. So I wish, could someone explain it to me?
I don't-
Because I've watched 4 different documentaries
Yeah.
and I still got no freaking clue.
There's
what
no
this
value
is,
I have
what
no
it,
idea what
cryptocurrency.
Bitcoins are.
There's
idea.
no.
It is crazy.
Coming from being a banker, I think it's the ultimate answer to this. It's the way that the world is trying to allow for there to be illegal doings transferred through currency. This is the only reason
So
that
it's money laundering.
cryptocurrency.
through a
It's basically a
fake
money
currency.
laundering currency.
It's for that it was a rage, but it was also a rage because it's another one of these movies where it's like, okay, this is what we're going to present you, okay? And at the end of it, there should be some sort of conclusion. But basically, they could have started the movie and go, you know what? We don't really know what's going on because it's still under investigation and nobody's talking to us. So why did you make the movie? Because I realize you started and you got to a point where you're like, I'd really like a conclusion to this, but there isn't
There
one.
wasn't one.
Oh, so
It's
you did
just-
see it too, Mer?
Well, yeah, I was screening. I was working that day and I watched parts of it, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, basically he got away with all his money and then he died, and they couldn't,
Oh, this is where he couldn't crack
and they
his.
couldn't crack into
Yeah.
into his account.
Yeah. So
So all these people were like out all this money.
So how
And
is
I
he?
think at the end they never resolved it. Like,
Nothing
they,
gets
they,
resolved.
They never got their
It's
money
just-
back.
It's just...
So it was a rage and a double rage.
Well, I didn't see enough of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
The half that you saw was rage.
Yeah, parts of it I saw. Yeah.
I also saw Jockey.
Oh, right.
With
Yeah,
our boy
which-
Clifton Collins Jr.
which you were looking forward to.
Yes.
You do like
So
your
much.
horses.
Clifton Collins Jr. was Mondo in it. Jockey
Was man.
was the last scene and the way that it wraps up is so good. The only reason why I wouldn't make it Mondo, and I'm trying to get over this, is because there's
You
some
can't
little
get over it.
little things that I know too much about the industry
Yes.
that it bugged me a little bit and the fact that Clifton Collins Jr., while he's not a very big man, he looks like a freaking giant next to these jockeys.
So it doesn't
could
fit.
they not have done some camera angles or
that's-
something to make them look similar in size?
But
at
that's
least?
a pure judgment. That's like if they tried to do if
not a
Peter
pure
Jackson.
judgment.
No, it is pure judgment because if you look, and we talked about this yesterday. I haven't seen the
Okay.
film, but Peter Jackson made all of those hobbits look small.
Yes.
Could they not have watched The Lord of the Rings or
Well,
maybe called Peter Jackson and said, "Hey, how do we make Clifton Collins look
You know what?
look actual small?"
They didn't
because
even,
they could have done that.
All they needed to do was just put the cameras in different places and have people standing in the foreground,
Yes.
and they could have easily made him look at
so
least
that
similar.
it means that
But-
the movie is not a Mondo because they didn't do that, which they very
Yeah.
easily could. What's the okay?
Because
So
there's no
I
way
haven't
that he
seen
could
this.
make weight to be a jockey.
I haven't
It's just-
seen the movie, so I'm not
Yes.
asking about the movie.
Yes.
But the fact that he
Yes.
was a jockey,
Yes.
does it make sense that someone could be a jockey that is that big?
No.
Then it's a meh. You can't give it a Mondo. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm
But
not
the-
allowing it.
Okay. I loved so much of it, and he is so.
Well, he's
good.
he's Mondo, and you can say that. He's mesmerizing. You do know that, right?
I do,
Exactly.
and he still is.
There you go.
This does not
All
take
right.
away from that in any way.
Now, what else did you see?
I saw Julia
Julia.
Child documentary.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Did you
love
not
Julia
see it?
Child.
Why
No.
didn't you watch this?
I don't know.
What's
I
wrong
ran
with
out
you?
of time. I worked.
You missed the double feature yesterday.
What? There's a double feature with Julia?
Julia and Jacques Cousteau.
What? I wanted
Back
to
to
see
back.
that too.
Did you not see that?
No, I did not see that.
Oh well. You know what? I'm going to talk about it first.
Okay, so
It was meh.
all right.
So Becoming
Becoming.
Cousteau, real paint by numbers. I mean, it had some cool footage in it, but and it showed kind of the transformation from, you watch the early footage and man, they didn't treat the sea life like they did in the later footage. It was unimpressive the way.
Yeah.
But it's like one of those if we only knew then what we know now type of deals.
Yes.
So you get over that pretty quickly, but it was good, but it was
You really got to find out who Cousteau was, though.
I don't think you did so much. because
Okay, well then it
And
wouldn't
then
have
you
been
got to
determined.
find out what his family wanted you to know about him.
Yeah.
This is produced by
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
his
was
son.
one of those deals where, exactly.
This is an homage to my father. Blah.
Yeah.
Did you see it, Mer?
Sorry, my father. Is that the name of the movie?
No. Just
Did you see
like
Becoming Cousteau?
Becoming Cousteau. His
Oh,
son
yeah,
is just
well,
like
no,
this
I
is-
saw parts of it because I said
okay.
I was working. I was in the booth. But
And
in
another-
contrast to that.
we had Julia. Julia was also meh.
All right.
I enjoyed it. How can you not when you're showing clips of Letterman and whatnot? Which
Well,
she
and
was-
her.
she was
Dan
all,
Aykroyd.
and it's one of those deals where she is like, if you love Julia Child, well, of course you're going to watch this documentary, no matter what I say about it. I just, once again, I don't know what I'm hoping for when I'm getting some of these documentaries about certain people, but if it's not there, it's not there. And what I was looking for, I'm not even sure what it was, but I wanted to know more, and I don't think it taught me enough.
Well, and in contrast, interestingly enough, these two docs about these two historical figures, we got to watch the Anthony Bourdain film earlier, maybe a few episodes ago, and that was terrible.
Yeah.
But these were at least made it to meh, so
There you
good
go.
on them.
Did we watch? We didn't talk about Mission Joy either. I thought you watched that.
I did, didn't I?
I don't think so. Did you?
I don't know. Did I?
I don't think you did.
I know.
Mission Joy, finding happiness in troubled times. Those words have not come out of your mouth.
Why not?
I don't know. Go ahead and talk about it.
Okay, I will. How did I miss talking about that?
I'm sure you did.
So
If not, here we go again. But
yeah,
I don't
if
think
you know
did.
what, We're talking about so much stuff. It's just crazy. So I'm positive we didn't. I must have just breezed past this, which I don't. I'm sad that I did. So anything that has His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu in, I would want to see this. But to see them talk for an hour and a half about joy, I am in a state of eternal joygasm. This insight into these great men and showing their past, present, and future, along with their deep friendship and care for humanity, is transcending. And oh yeah, this movie was Mondo.
There you go. And I don't blame you for saying that it's Mondo, because based on the fact that it's about these two men and showing them, conversing
and the love
and enjoying each other's company the way that they do, the fact that they don't see each other that much, and when they come together, it's just
they have a connection.
They have a total connection, and you can feel the love. Like it's joy.
It is
joy.
Watching it is joy, and
Having
the emotion
said
from them.
That,
you didn't love it as much.
I just, as far as a film, as far as making a documentary about this, I thought that, it relied too much on the obvious, which is you put these two guys on screen, it's going to be great.
Which it was.
But I thought that it could have been made better. So I'm going to give it a high meh.
Oh, you're heartless. Because that movie brought me so much joy.
I also saw Night Blooms. I only saw it because Nick Stahl's in it, and I was like, I haven't seen Nick Stahl in anything in a while.
Night Blooms?
Yeah.
Like as in the flower blooms?
Yeah, it's kind of I don't know. It's this young lady that falls for her best friend's father, and
already sounds creepy. I'm in.
It's very, it's got some creepiness to it. It wasn't
meh, is what you're saying.
It wasn't horrible. It was meh.
Okay. It wasn't. That's a great rounding applause for it wasn't horrible.
It wasn't horrible. Did we talk about one of ours?
Nope.
Haitian boy adopted by indigenous family.
Sounds awesome.
That wants to play in it's a documentary. It's about this kid that he was playing in these indigenous basketball tournaments because he was adopted.
Haitian.
No, because he was adopted by and the father's indigenous and the mother's white, but he was adopted by them. So he had full status because of it.
Okay.
So he got
through adoption.
So his
birth was Haitian. Okay.
Yes.
This sounds amazing.
Yeah, basically he was the only black guy in the whole community.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was able to play in these basketball tournaments, and then all of a sudden they decide, no, you're not playing it in
because you don't have bloodline.
Yeah, and so then it's exactly, and that's the thing that they're kind of fighting against, and then they're kind of using it against him. So it was very good. I think it's an important documentary to watch.
Yes.
It got a little dry. They kind of went on and on about certain stuff that I thought they could have tightened up a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely worth watching. But it's at the end of the day, it's still meh. But
did you see
I
it,
liked it a lot.
Parts of it. I was there yesterday.
Oh yes, Mer got to see parts of everything, but not a lot of it.
I was there for the screening of it.
Oh, okay.
Filmmakers and everything.
Oh, nice. So was it local? Was it a local Alberta production?
I don't know if it was local, but it's Canadian.
And the filmmakers were there.
That, you know what? It's such an interesting discussion point, though. To your point, I know there's been, like, if you're Jewish and you take on the Jewish faith, you then become Jewish moving forward. So interesting that with the indigenous community, it's not. It's bloodline. Interesting.
I also saw San Remo.
San Remo? Really?
Yeah. And I fell asleep, and I woke up, and I started again, and I fell asleep again. And then I woke up, and then
at that point I would have given up.
So then I went back.
Yeah, I would have too.
I went back about a half an hour and played it again. And I'm like, oh no, I haven't gone back far enough. So I went back another 15 minutes and went again. And it had some good performances by a couple of old codgers. And it's basically these two elderly people find each other in this retirement community, and there's a song involved.
Sounds familiar.
It was.
Isn't there a movie called Grumpy Old Men? Isn't there a movie about that?
How about the one that just came out?
That is not.
How about the one that just came out that you guys hated?
Oh, what was that one?
Ellen, what's her name?
I don't know what we're talking
The
about.
hell, the one
anymore.
about the retirement community. You guys hated.
Oh yeah, that one with Ellen Bernstein.
Oh,
That was only a few
Yeah,
months
it was
ago.
terrible.
okay. Well, if we're comparing those two, then this was Mondo. But we're not.
Until you
And
fell asleep 3 times.
I think in my defense, or in its defense, I was really tired.
Yeah, but you were really tired seeing other movies, and you were
That's
able
true.
to stay awake.
That's
so
true.
You watched a 3-hour.
The performances were
Japanese
good.
movie.
It dragged on a while. It was meh. I also saw a documentary called Raise the Bar, which
I already love the sound.
I
of that.
think everybody needs to see.
Nice.
Raise the Bar is basically about this Icelandic girls basketball team.
I'm already in.
And I think they're like, I want to say they're about 12 years old, in that range.
Okay.
And they actually are competing against the boys in some tournaments, and then they want to go into like the major tournament
Yep.
and compete against the boys because they can. And the
They said
governing
no.
body says, no, you can't.
You can't.
And the reasons are just like ridiculous. Like, oh, well, we can't have the boys losing to girls. And it's like so backwards. And it's just, the movie is so good. The coach that's pretty much devoted his life to empowering these young ladies. It is anybody that's, I don't have a daughter. You do.
I have two.
You need to watch this movie.
I will
You will
absolutely see this.
absolutely adore this movie.
Okay.
It's called Raise the Bar.
Raise the Bar.
And it is Mondo. Everybody needs to watch Raise the Bar.
Whether you have a girl or not.
I don't. And I absolutely, I'm like, oh, so good. And these girls, oh, they're just great. They're just great.
Awesome. I want to see it now.
Such a good movie. Raise the Bar. Watch Raise the Bar. Have I said that you need to watch Raise
There's a movie
the Bar?
I'm thinking that I probably should
And it's
see this year.
Icelandic, Murray.
It's called
Watch
Raise the Bar.
All right.
He's on it.
There are 5 Scandinavian countries, and Iceland is like the smallest one.
I know. They're the cutest one.
So what does that have
of
to
the
do with
bunch.
the price of tea in China?
I'm not Icelandic. I'm
Or
Norwegian.
the price of cheese in Denmark.
Okay, then I saw See For Me.
C, like as in S-E-E?
It's about this blind woman that's been she's house sitting for some reason. Why you get a blind woman to house sit? And then it's got like ridiculous twist after ridiculous twist, and by
Sounds
the end
great.
I'm like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever watched in my life. I hated it. It's a rage. I wish that I didn't see it.
It's called Wait Until Dark. See that one?
What? Is that the same movie?
No, it's a better movie that was done 40 years ago.
About the same thing?
Same thing. Audrey Hepburn played a blind woman who these basically robbers go into her house trying to steal something from her.
Interesting.
And
No, I want to see them both.
That was in the 60s. There was also a play which I was part of, a production of. Wait Until Dark. See that
Wait
one
Until
instead.
Dark. Well, Audrey Hepburn. Everybody wants that.
Okay, and I saw Try Harder, which is a documentary about Lowell High School, this sort of place in San Francisco where kids go to get into college, I guess. It's like a
It was
advanced
90 minutes
placement
of
high
these
school,
kids
basically.
whining about whether they did or didn't get into the colleges of their choice. Like Harvard,
Nice.
Yale. Oh no, I didn't get into Harvard. What am I going to do now? I'm like, there's only 2,000 universities.
Go to
in
Columbia
in
instead.
America.
Why not?
Like, oh, I didn't get into the most prestigious university in the world, so my life is over.
So it's a rage for humor?
Yeah, what I saw of it, I didn't like it. It's like these are privileged kids who it's like
Spoiled brats?
and these kids were not indicative of what today's youth is like. They were all.
How do
nice
you
to-
know that?
They
were
live
all-
in a
they
bubble.
They were all nice to each other. They were pleasant. There was like
Be to their faces.
like if
They were
you-
being filmed.
Have you seen teenagers out in the world? These are not them.
Okay, I actually agreed with everything until the end there, where Murray went on this weird rant about kids these days.
I'm just saying these were very, very nice kids, and that's not what they normally are.
At any rate,
Was the movie terrible? Was
the
it a
movie
rage?
the movie was terrible. It's
Okay.
basically about these privileged youngsters that it's like they, just like Murray was saying, it's like, oh no, I didn't
First
get
world
into
problems.
Yale or
Yeah.
Harvard or whatever.
Well, I think this is a funny thing that I have this new expression that there's first world problems, but then there's elitist first world problems, and then that us people with first world problems can't identify with.
Having said that, a lot of these, you had to get into this school. not all of them were like super privileged. Some of them did kind of have to work their asses off to get to where they
had to try harder.
I could appreciate those parts of the film, but you know, at the end of the day, I'm trying to. I guess it wasn't a rage.
But you already said it was, so it's too late.
Okay, it's a rage. Take it back.
Awesome. Now, what else did you see?
And the last thing that I've got here, I'm just basically scrolling down the list here.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think we talked about the White Fortress.
I didn't see the White Fortress, so I can't talk about it.
Yeah, the White Fortress was very, very good. Basically, it's post-war Sarajevo. These two teenagers kind of get together, and they come from very different backgrounds, and it's just the way that their lives intertwine, and it's a decent enough coming of age story. I liked it. I didn't love it.
It's a meh.
It's a meh. And I think that's all I saw.
Was there anything else you saw, Murr?
No, that was it.
You sure? Want to rack your brain?
No, I have one thing to add, though.
All right.
Name of the movie is called Buck Alamo or a Phantasmagorical Ballad.
I did not know it was or.
That's what it was called when I previewed it.
This is the movie I should have seen.
And the
now
movie
it's just called Buck Alamo.
It's described as unloading its existential chamber like a Texas folk song. Buck Alamo is a musical acid western about a modern-day outlaw as he duels with death.
That's pretty accurate.
So there you go.
It's not lying.
Orgasmatron? Is that what it was?
No.
Phantasmagorical.
Which is a
That's just a word we don't get to say
enough.
enough.
Better title if you ask me.
Yeah, it would make me want to see it if I knew that the Phantasmagorical was in it.
So that's everything I saw, and then some. Although I am planning on seeing one other thing.
Well, you can mention that on Wednesday.
Well, I'm going to mention it now.
Why are you mentioning it? You haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, but I might not even see it, but I'm planning on seeing it.
Well, then why are you talking about it? This is what you're doing.
Because I like to talk.
Because you just can't shut the fuck up.
Because everybody was talking about this movie.
Okay, so that makes it important.
So I think I'm gonna watch that Potato Dreams of America, because what's his head was talking.
Yeah.
about it.
Javal was talking.
Was talking about it. Hey, Javal, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, buddy?
What's up, Javal?
Potatoes. I love me the potatoes.
So, yeah,
actually, and a potato, just for everybody's purposes, is something that everybody on the podcast will eat.
That's true.
Which isn't always the same. Which isn't always true.
Potatoes are.
Murray doesn't like vegetables, and Bryce doesn't eat meat. So
there you go. All right, so yeah, it was a good festival.
It was you know what? I think as far as festivals go, this was probably one of the best.
As far as batting percentage of how many really good films there was, this was quite, which is surprising in this year.
This environment.
How did these get made?
Well, there's a lot of films in this that, like, you got to think this either they held on to some of this.
Yeah.
When COVID started and they didn't get into the festival circuit, they said, you know what, I want my film to be seen in cinema.
In cinema, yeah.
And so I think they held off because there's no way they filmed some of this stuff during COVID. There's no possible way.
No, it's not like there's been some other times where we've been looking at festivals and there's like a lot of COVID content.
Yes,
like you can
tell. You can tell. Well, there was one in particular,
even The Sadness was basically a COVID.
Yeah, he made that during COVID.
They thought he shot it before, but it was about.
He made it during COVID.
He's like, we got to make this now because it's not a thing. It's big.
Well, they were one of the first countries that really controlled COVID right from the beginning, so that's why they were able to film. And then, of course, they probably lost control like every other country did. But the one movie, Knocking. Actually, I could see that one probably being filmed because it's mostly her.
Yeah.
Right? Like if there's films where it's just that person, you could see maybe.
Yeah, it's from people in our building.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they could have social distance in that filming. So yeah, I agree. So stay tuned this Wednesday. We're going to be breaking down our top 5 films of the festival and just we won't talk too much about them again because you can just go back and listen to these episodes. But we will be talking a little bit about it. So again, we really want to thank CIFF Calgary for allowing Film Rage to be part of the festival again this year. We were blessed enough last year to be the only, as far as I know, the only podcast that was allowed to be part of the festival last year. So we super thank you. And a lot of the local podcasters that have become friends of ours over the years have, we got to see some of them at the podcast studio. So that was a fun time. So for people that are not in Calgary, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba, make sure you go check out these really good films and support your local cinemas because they need your help. Thanks, Ragers, for listening. Super rage love for our members. Julene from It Goes Down in the PM podcast, James and Philip for their continued financial and moral support. Thanks to the extended Film Rage crew of Leonard Conlon, Bex Goose, Tony, and Nat for their artistic contributions to our show. Find their homes in our show notes. Thanks to our sponsor, Canyon Meadows Cinema. Please go and support your local independent cinemas, as I've already mentioned, but it can't be said enough. Find us on social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Film Rage YYC. Follow us on Audea, which is AUDEA.io, and search Film Rage for bite-sized film reviews. Check out everything Film Rage at filmrageyyc.com, including our merch for Redbubble and TeePublic. We are always wanting to make this a raging blast for all listeners, so please comment, like, and subscribe, and send us emails to filmragecalgary@gmail.com. Dare us to see terrible movies, which will be coming back with so much rage on Wednesday. But no matter what you do, just please make us rage. Please. Please. That's it for the festival. And this week, Rage On.
Rage on.